After the college entrance exam ended, I broke up with Morgan, just because I helped her estimate her scores instead of you. He laughed. Yes. Fine. He smiled. Don't regret it. We met at 5, grew up together, shared our entire youth. He was certain I couldn't leave him, but he didn't know. The score estimation was just an excuse. I estimated my own scores and applied to a school, the one farthest from him. This time, I'm really leaving him. From then on, we went our separate ways, each to a distant corner of the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. Just because I helped her estimate her scores and not you. The classroom sunlight spilled onto Morgan's face as he smirked. Miss High and Mighty, is this necessary? I nodded. I want to break up. He rested his chin on his hand, looking at me with slightly raised eyes. How many times have you said break up now? Remember. I froze. He leaned back casually in his chair. The 10th, 11th, or 12th time. He laughed. Stop joking. It's been over 10 years. Alyssa, you can't leave me. I shook my head. Nothing is indispensable. Anyone can live without anyone else. Oh. He smiled. All right. Don't regret it. I won't. I turned to leave, just as Susie entered the classroom. She was holding a few sheets of paper in her hand. Morgan, I'm still a bit unsure about filling out the college application forms. Could you help me think it through again? Morgan remained non-committal and looked at me. In the past, I would have snapped back immediately, saying, you fill out your own applications. What does it have to do with Morgan? But it's always like this, and I'm really tired of it. I turned to leave, but Susie grabbed my arm. Alyssa, don't misunderstand. Morgan and I are just friends. She bit her lip. My family doesn't understand these things, so I asked Morgan to help me. College affects my future, and choosing the right one is really important to me. Don't keep arguing with Morgan over such trivial matters. He just recovered from a cold after staying up late helping me estimate my scores. I couldn't hold back. Oh, just friends. The kind where you go to his room every night to ask questions. The kind where he accompanies you to the hospital every time. The kind where you show him your new clothes. The kind where you call him during our dates. Do you not have parents? Since you know you're just the child of their housekeeper and not his girlfriend. Does the age-old saying men and women should maintain proper boundaries mean nothing to you? Did you just shit all over it? Susie froze, her eyes instantly reddening as she lowered her head, seemingly holding back tears. Alyssa. Morgan stood up and handed her a tissue, sighing, I know you're sharp-tongued, but must you always pick on the same person? Susie let a single tear drop silently. In the quiet classroom, the sound of her suppressed sobs became audible. Suddenly, I felt utterly drained. I turned around and left the classroom. I went home, took a nap, and woke up at 7 p.m. I opened my phone and immediately saw Susie's post on social media. Feeling down. It's my first time being brought to play games, and I'm so clumsy. Thank you for your company and patience. As a poor kid who only knew how to study hard growing up, I've just realized that games are never the opposite of effort, but rather a synonym for youth. The illustration shows the game completion screen, with one hand Susie giving a thumbs up, and the other being a guy's hand playing the game. On that hand, there's still the lucky red bracelet I got for him. Just then, a message popped up on the phone. Send me your answers. I'll estimate your score for you. 5 full hours had passed. After finishing a game with another girl, he finally remembered me. I stared at his profile picture for a while. The one I had changed for him. A drawing of 2 little figures holding hands that I had made. All these years, he never changed that profile picture. I tapped my phone and added him to the blacklist. 20 minutes later, I went downstairs for dinner. Grandpa looked at me and asked, why are your eyes swollen? I mumbled, slept too much. It's just puffiness. You've finally finished your exams. You should rest more. Grandpa said gently. Speaking of which, that kid Morgan is really lucky. He got early admission to be university. He's had it easy, while you've been studying until midnight every night just to get into the same university as him. It breaks my heart to see you like this. I put down my chopsticks and said, Grandpa, I've estimated my scores. I think I can do better than be university. Based on past years, I should be able to get into a university. Grandpa was taken aback, feeling both delighted and slightly concerned. But University A is in City A, while University B is right here in our city. What about you and Morgan? I know the difference between my future and love. I said earnestly. Grandpa, University A is my dream. If my final score matches my estimate, I'm definitely going to University A. Grandpa fully supported my decision. Just then, my phone buzzed with another message. My best friend Bonnie was inviting me to sing at KTV. Go ahead. Let Uncle Tom drive you. Grandpa said cheerfully. You've worked so hard. It's time to have some fun. I arrived at the KTV in 20 minutes. Bonnie told me to grab some free snacks at the buffet first. Just as I was picking up fries onto my plate, I heard two familiar voices nearby. I mean, Morgan, we agreed to hang out. Why have you been on your phone all night? Blocked them. It was Morgan's indifferent voice. Who would dare to block you? Who else? My little princess, he said with a helpless tone. Alyssa, the person said knowingly. To be honest, Miss Alyssa's temper. No one else could handle it but you. Morgan let out a light chuckle. I spoiled them myself. What can I do? I'll just have to bear with it. What's the reason this time? Helping Susie estimate her score. That's it. The person was speechless. Miss Alyssa gets angry too easily. But honestly, we've talked about it before. If we were to choose girlfriends, we'd all pick someone like Susie first. So gentle. Speaks softly. Always considerate of others. I didn't listen further. Turned around and went back to the private room. But when I returned to the private room, I saw Bonnie angrily confronting Susie, who was dressed in a waiter's uniform. Talk about enemies crossing paths. Susie was actually working here. We ordered watermelon juice, but you brought mango juice. Alyssa is allergic to mangoes. The whole class knows that. How is she supposed to drink this? Susie flushed red. It's been so busy tonight. That's why I made a mistake. So if you made a mistake, just exchange it for us. What do you mean you can't? Susie saw me as if grasping at a lifeline, urgently saying, Alyssa, I took your order wrong, but I've already messed up twice tonight. One more mistake and I'll lose my wages for the evening. You can afford one more drink, right? Could you just order another one, please? I sat down, expressionless. Are you being a bit unreasonable? I genuinely can't drink mango juice. You made the mistake, so why should I pay for it? It's not like I placed the wrong order. A glass of watermelon juice is only 50. I'm begging you, for the sake of being classmates, just help me this once. She looked troubled. I'm not like you guys. I have to work to earn my university tuition and living expenses. Every night's wages are crucial to me. If you think this job is so important, why did you make a mistake? And why should I help you after you messed up? I snapped. I'm severely allergic to mangoes. The room was dark, and if it weren't for Bonnie noticing, I would have taken a sip and ended up in the hospital by now. I'm already letting you off the hook by not holding you accountable. And now you want me to pay for your mistake. Bonnie also said, yeah, you're just being unreasonable. Yet it was clearly Susie who made the unreasonable demand. Yet her expression looked as if she had suffered some humiliation. You rich people, is this how you bully others? After quickly wiping away a few tears, she suddenly grabbed several glasses of mango juice from the table and rushed out the door. As a result, she nearly collided with a few people passing by the entrance. Susie, one of the boys spotted her and called out, what's wrong? Did someone bully you? Susie shook her head but looked at Morgan with teary eyes. What happened? Morgan walked over. She gave us the wrong drinks. All the watermelon juices were served as mango juices. Alyssa is allergic to mango, and she refused to replace them, insisting we buy new ones ourselves. Bonnie walked out and said, I didn't mean to. Susie lowered her head. They're all classmates. What's the big deal? Someone said, you two young ladies, can't you afford a few juice drinks? What's the big deal? Alyssa's allergy is serious. Don't you know? Last time she just touched a mango peel and had to go to the hospital. Morgan saw me behind the door, his expression flickering with a hint of tension for a moment. Did you drink? I sneered. You wish I had. You want me to drink, but I don't want to trouble the medical staff. He stepped closer, speaking gently. All right, you didn't drink, so why make such a scene? She didn't mean to. If you're upset with me, take it out on me, but don't drag others into it. She's had it hard enough. Morgan, do you think your face is so big and your influence so vast that I'd drag others into this because of you? Are you blind or deaf? The one who did wrong has somehow become the victim in your eyes. Forget it. Morgan, I'll just redo their orders. Susie sniffled, gently tugging his sleeve. I don't want today's pay. Just drop it. But seeing her pitiful expression just made me angrier. Who asked for your opinion? How dare you act all magnanimous after messing up? Where do you get the nerve? Alyssa. Morgan said lowly. That's enough. Don't go too far. He turned his head. Send the mango juice to our room. And bring them a few glasses of watermelon juice too. I'll pay for it. No need. I picked up my bag. If the young master wants to do charity, do it yourself. Bonnie. We're not singing anymore. Let's go. Huh. Such a temper. Someone remarked. Bonnie and I walked out together. I'm sorry, Alyssa, she said with some regret. I shouldn't have argued with her and should have just bought another cup. Then you wouldn't have had to fight with Morgan. Why should we buy it? I walked quickly. Just because she's upset. Does that give her the right to make others bear the consequences of her mistakes? Besides, I paused mid-step. I already broke up with Morgan this afternoon. Bonnie walked silently beside me. You don't believe me, she sighed. To be honest, Alyssa, no one would believe you'd actually break up with Morgan. Besides, could you really bear to? Sitting on the bus home, Bonnie's words kept echoing in my mind. Bonnie's words. Are you really willing to let go? When we were 1 kilometer away from the villa, I asked Uncle Tom to stop the car, saying I wanted to walk. The first time I met Morgan was on this very road. Back then, when my grandfather brought me back to the old house, people kept pointing and whispering about me along the way. That's the child who insisted on having her parents come back for her birthday, causing them to have an accident on the way. What a pity. Such an outstanding couple. Ah, if it weren't for that child's willfulness, Grandpa Garrison wouldn't have had to bury his own child. That night, I avoided the crowd and walked alone to the villa's pond, then plunged headfirst into it. I think, if I die, maybe I can bring Mom and Dad back. I don't know how Morgan appeared, but he grabbed me tightly. Since then, the 5-year-old has been following me around, as if afraid I'd find another chance to jump. My parents' incident made my personality turn nasty. I hate myself and I hate interacting with people. But no matter how I scold him, drive him away, or hit him with dolls, he never gets angry, won't leave. The Harris family adults told him to go home, but he said seriously that he couldn't leave because he had to be the knight guarding the princess. Idiot, I thought to myself. In kindergarten, a few kids taunted me for not having parents. Morgan rushed out and fought with them. Who says she doesn't have parents? He didn't win the fight, but he didn't lose the argument. My parents are Alyssa's parents. As the crowd dispersed, I looked at him coldly. Your parents are not my parents. They will be. He tried to grin but winced in pain, tears welling up. If you marry me someday, then they will be. Softening of the heart happens in an instant. That day, I reached out and pulled him up from the ground. Hand in hand, we walked home together, and from the moment our hands touched, we became inseparable for over a decade. Until the year of high school, Susie came to Harris's home. She was the child of the Harris family's live-in maid, who moved in with her mother after being admitted to our high school. The first time I saw her was on Morgan's birthday night, when I sneaked into his room, hid in the closet, and held a carefully chosen gift ready to surprise him. Instead, I saw him enter with Susie. This is my birthday gift for you. A paper crane I folded myself, Susie said timidly, lowering her head. It's definitely not as valuable as what Alyssa gave you, but I spent several nights folding it. It's a token of my feelings. Thank you. The thought is what matters most, Morgan said. A surge of irritation rose in my heart. I pushed open the cabinet door and walked out. What do you mean it's not as valuable as what Alyssa gave? What are you implying? You give what you want to give. But how come when you give something cheap it's the thought that counts? But when I give something expensive, it's not. I didn't mean it that way. Seeing me, she was startled, her face turning red as she flusteredly explained. Morgan escorted her out. What's there to be angry about? He closed the door and smiled at me. I don't like her. Her family is quite poor. Her father is ill and can't work, so the whole family depends solely on her mother. It wasn't easy for her to get into one high school. Grandma let her stay here to save some money and asked me to look after her more. He said it was only 3 years, but these 3 years turned out to be the ones we argued the most. Susie would always appear around us whenever I was with Morgan, either bringing a workbook to ask questions or asking Morgan to help her with small tasks like fixing her computer or moving things. Whenever I got angry, she would just lower her head, eyes red, and stay silent. Others who saw it thought I was bullying her. Even Morgan felt I was making a mountain out of a molehill. They're just small favors. Helping out is no big deal. I don't even like her. Why are you always getting jealous? But I just don't like her. She would call away Morgan on my birthday, saying her father was sick, leaving her distraught and in need of help. She would have Morgan take her to the hospital because she was sick, leaving me waiting alone in front of the cinema for an hour. She would have Morgan explain problems to her every night, not even noticing me standing at the door. Everyone tells me not to overthink it. She's had a hard time, just helping out. But I just can't get over that hurdle in my heart. I've made scenes, gotten angry, even broken up. Yet after the breakup, I tossed and turned, sleepless night after night, shamelessly taking the initiative to reconcile, even trying to change myself, to be more tolerant, more generous. Bonnie is right. I can't bear to part with him, truly can't bear to. A decade-long relationship is etched into my bones, and every attempt to sever it feels like a dull knife cutting through flesh. So painful, so excruciating. I'm afraid of the pain, so each time I choose to run away. Until last month, when I had a food allergy and was alone at home. I called Morgan over a dozen times, but no one answered. Someone called an ambulance, and it was only after returning from the hospital with an 4 drip that I found out he had been tutoring Susie with her homework and didn't check his phone. He didn't even know I had been to the hospital. At that moment, it suddenly struck me that breaking up might not be such a difficult thing after all. 2 weeks later, the results came out, and it was also time for Grandpa Harris's birthday. My grandfather and Grandpa Harris are good friends. Although I broke up with Morgan, Grandpa Harris has always been kind to me. So of course I had to go and wish him a happy birthday. I just didn't expect that Susie would also be there. The seat next to Morgan was always reserved for me, but I didn't take it. Instead, I walked around to the opposite side and sat across from him. After Susie helped her mother serve the dishes, she naturally took the seat next to Morgan, my original spot. I gave Grandpa Harris a gift and came back to find Morgan sitting next to me, still sulking. He propped his chin on his hand and looked at me. It's been 2 weeks. Why are you holding on to this grudge for so long? I sat down with a calm expression. Morgan, we broke up, and you agreed to it. I really can't with you. He laughed. All right. Then tell me, how many weeks are we splitting it into this time? I ignored him. The dishes were all served. Grandpa Harris blew out the candles, and the elders started talking about the 3 of us applying for colleges. Susie's scores were estimated by Morgan, and the estimate was spot on. She applied to Southern Medical University, which is right next to B University. Susie's mom chimed in from the side. Susie smiled sweetly. It's all thanks to Morgan helping me with tutoring in the last month and giving me so much advice. That's how I scored 598 and can fulfill my dream of saving lives through medicine. Grandma Harris turned to ask me, Alyssa, why haven't you been coming lately? Grandma still doesn't know how many points you scored. She got 695. I asked the teacher. Morgan proudly answered before I could. B University is no problem. She can choose any major she wants. As he said this, he was still holding my hand under the table. I shook off his hand and lowered my head to eat. Choosing a major is indeed quite important. You should think it through carefully. Grandpa Harris nodded. Susie immediately responded. Yes. Like me, I come from a poor family, so I want to study medicine. One reason is for my father, and another is that doctors embody boundless love. I feel I've received so much kindness here, and in the future, if there's anything I can do to help any of the elders, studying medicine will allow me to be of use to everyone. Choosing a major isn't just about personal considerations. More importantly, it's about the value to society and others. That's what you think too, right, Alyssa? I smiled and said, sorry, I'm not as morally noble or boundless in love as you. I just want to study management to inherit my family's company. Of course, if any of the elders need anything, I happen to be planning a private medical service program within my family's group, featuring top-tier doctors nationwide with 24/7 service availability. Really, Alyssa? Grandma Harris exclaimed in delight. This plan of yours is truly excellent. My grandfather said proudly. Alyssa gave me the proposal last week. It's exceptionally well done, and I'll support her wholeheartedly. The elders all asked with keen interest about the details of my private medical service plan, while across the table, Susie's face kept alternating between pale and red. After dinner, Morgan lazily blocked my way in the garden. All right, you've had your vent. Add me back now. I found it amusing. What vent? We've already broken up. Haven't you heard? The best ex should act like they're dead. Always so sharp with your words, he said, stretching his arms to encircle me. I'm going to attend the training camp at B University next month and won't be back until school starts. If you don't add me back now, you won't see me starting next week. 2 whole months. Won't you miss me? Not at all. We've already broken up. What's there to think about? I turned to leave. But suddenly he took my phone out of my pocket. Give it back. Stop messing around. He effortlessly unlocked my phone, removing himself from the blacklist as he said, There. Do you really want to keep giving me the cold shoulder until school starts? Aren't we supposed to go together on your registration day? Why should I go with you? Our schools aren't even the same. I didn't apply to University B at all, but I just don't want to tell him. Then who do you want to go with? Do you still want those university seniors to help you with your luggage? He snorted lightly. Don't even think about it. On the first day of school, you can only go with me. You have a boyfriend. After all, I was speechless. Just then, Susie's voice suddenly sounded beside us. Can I go with you guys that day too? Susie, this person I sometimes really admire. She always manages to appear silently beside us when Morgan and I are together, seamlessly joining the conversation. It's almost like she has some kind of special ability. Morgan paused for a moment, then shook his head in refusal. Sorry, Susie. Our stuff alone will probably fill 1 car. Let me find another car for you. I don't have much stuff. Just a small suitcase. So we don't need an extra car. She turned to look at me. Alyssa, you must have a lot to bring to school. Right. Why don't you take that car? And I can squeeze into one with Morgan. I really had to laugh. Sure. You two can go together. Since you're so close anyway. I turned and walked away. Every extra second spent here makes me sick. Who would have thought Morgan caught up with me? What nonsense are you talking about? He grabbed me. On such an important day as the start of school. Of course you should walk with me. I crossed my arms and looked amused at the pitiful Susie not far away. Are you sure? If you don't take her, she might cry. You know, why would I bring her? She's not my girlfriend. He paused, then added, I didn't help you estimate your score earlier because I was certain you'd get into B University without any problem. My girlfriend is so outstanding. Do you think I wouldn't know that? Let's settle it like this. I'll arrange for a car when the time comes, he said, pulling me into his embrace. All right, no more fussing now. At that moment, a few elderly people happened to come to the garden for a walk. Oh my, look at them. How sweet they are together. Grandma Harris chuckled, seeing me obediently letting him hold me. Morgan slightly curled the corners of his lips. He probably thought I had cooled off. And this breakup, just like before, ended simply and easily. Alyssa, wait for me to come back, he whispered in my ear. We'll go report together. 2 months passed by quickly. During these 2 months, Morgan would occasionally message me. At first, I would reply with, we broke up. Stop texting me. But he turned a deaf ear, thinking I was just being temperamental again, and continued anyway, since not replying would make him keep messaging non-stop. I found it unbearably annoying and would occasionally respond with a sticker just to brush him off. University's acceptance letter arrived on the day Grandpa and I celebrated together. Grandpa, do you think what I did was wrong? Grandpa glared. What's wrong with you? Your grandpa may be old but he's not blind. The Harris family's boy and that Susie have issues. I could tell during dinner that day. I haven't even mentioned him bullying my granddaughter yet. How dare he complain first? Both of you are single, and you've already broken up with him. My granddaughter scored high and deserves to attend University A. University A's registration date was earlier than University B's, so Grandpa insisted on personally seeing me off. We, grandfather and granddaughter, left for City A week early to have some fun there. As the plane took off, watching the buildings grow smaller and smaller below, I truly felt for the first time that I had really left. I changed my phone number to a City A1, re-registered on the messaging app, and only added a few close friends like Bonnie. After I started school, my grandpa went on a vacation abroad. A week later, while I was walking with my senior to the teacher's office, I received a call from Bonnie. Alyssa, something's wrong. I heard Morgan didn't report to B University. I froze. What? It seems he went to your house to look for you right after the training camp ended, but neither your grandpa nor you were there. He thought you had gone out to play, and for some reason, he even went with Susie to the joint freshman party between B University and Southern Medical University. You changed your number, so you didn't see that Susie's social media posts. During those gathering days, she posted 9 square grids every day, and every single one had Morgan in it. Anyone who didn't know better would think she was Morgan's girlfriend. Then on the day of registration, you still didn't show up. No one answered your grandpa's or your phone, and Morgan panicked. He started searching for you everywhere, asking in every group chat if anyone knew where you were. He even went to our high school, and it wasn't until he ran into our homeroom teacher that he found out you never applied to University B. You'd applied to University A instead. The teacher seemed to have told him that you asked the school not to publicize your acceptance to University A. The teacher was pretty surprised, saying they thought he already knew. When he came to see me yesterday, he looked terrible, unshaven, hair a mess. He asked me if I knew why you chose University A. I said, "Don't you know why?" I showed him Susie's social media posts and said, "With you and Susie acting like this, it's obvious to everyone. Did you really expect Alyssa to keep putting up with it?" He said he didn't know about the social media post, and honestly, he didn't seem to be lying. I think he might come looking for you. Not might, he's already here. I put down my phone and looked at the person standing before me. Morgan really doesn't look well, with dark under-eye circles, red-rimmed eyes, and an utterly exhausted demeanor. There's no trace left of the dashing school heartthrob he once was. "Alyssa, your friend?" the senior asked. "Yeah, he looks like he needs to talk to you. Should I go get the form for you instead?" I shook my head. "No need. I'll go with you." Passing by Morgan, he suddenly grabbed my arm. "Alyssa, I have something important to do at the teacher's office." I brushed his hand away. "We can talk about it later." With that, I went to the office building and came down 20 minutes later. Morgan was still standing in the same spot. The senior glanced at Morgan and asked me, "Do you need help? This person seems a bit off." "It's fine, thank you, senior." I smiled. "He's an old classmate of mine." He nodded. "Well, if you need anything, just give me a call." I took Morgan to the cafe at the school gate, a seat by the window. "I need an explanation," he said. "We broke up." He stared at me blankly. "Just because I helped her estimate her score. Let's just say it is. Do you have any idea what kind of decision you're making? Wasn't it us who agreed to go to be university together? You changed your mind just like that without even telling me." "Alyssa, what exactly do you take me for?" "What do you take me for? How laughable," I said calmly. "As an ex-boyfriend. Since we're exes now, I don't think I need to tell you where I'm applying." "Why? Did you fall for someone else? That guy just now?" I chuckled lightly. "Ha, Morgan, you've been spending too much time with Susie. Your skills at being unreasonable have really improved." I stood up. "If you're here to blame me, to muddle through and pin the end of this relationship on me, then we have nothing left to discuss." I grabbed my bag and turned to leave. But in an instant, his hand pulled me back. His whole body was trembling. 13 years. 13 years. He raised his head, his eyes actually reddening. "Just because of an estimated score, you're going to leave me. You've actually grown tired of me long ago, haven't you? You've wanted to abandon me for a while now, haven't you? Alyssa, how could you be so heartless to me? After all these years, you just decide to leave like that. Do you even have a heart? Do you know? During the training camp at B University, I was planning our future every day. I thought, we've finally made it to university. I can hold you openly now, kiss you. We can eat together in the cafeteria every day, watch movies together, study together in the library. We'd be B University's best couple on campus. We'd get married right after graduation." Even when I went to the freshman gathering, it was because I heard there'd be seniors from B University's School of Economics and Management sharing their experiences. Do you know what I was doing those days you flew to City A to report in? I was compiling materials for you about B University's School of Economics and Management. As I was organizing them, I kept thinking, his eyes were already unbearably red. If I had given these to you on the day of the report, what kind of happy expression would you have had? Like a fool. I was dreaming of our future. But what about you? Huh? Did you enjoy playing with me? Alyssa, did you really enjoy it? I quietly looked at him, hurt, disappointment, shattered. I returned to the seat across from him. "Morgan, do you know why I immediately started planning my family's private medical service right after the college entrance exams?" He froze. On the evening of May 8th, Grandpa was still on the plane. Uncle Tom and Auntie Anna were at work. I was home alone and ordered a strawberry cake, but didn't check the ingredients list. The filling contained mango juice. I recounted calmly. I don't know if there were other allergens in that cake, but the reaction was worse than any I'd had before. I couldn't breathe. My legs were too weak to stand, and when I called you multiple times, you never answered. I later called 120, and while waiting, I tried calling you a few more times. Soon after, the ambulance arrived, and I practically crawled to the villa's entrance to open the door for the paramedics. Morgan stared at me blankly as they carried me into the ambulance. I truly felt like I might die right then. When the ambulance passed by your place, I so wished you'd notice and come with me. I'm really terrified of hospitals. That night, I thought of my parents. I didn't want to die alone in a hospital. I just kept crying and crying until the medical staff came to comfort me. It wasn't until midnight that my allergic symptoms mostly subsided. I refused to be hospitalized and took a taxi home by myself. That's when you called. Do you remember what you said when I asked why you didn't answer the phone? Morgan's face instantly turned pale. You said you were helping Susie study, and to keep her focused. You both agreed not to look at your phones. Alyssa, I didn't know. I really didn't. If I had known, I would never. You really don't know. Because when I made this call, I was standing right under your apartment. I shook my head and laughed softly. It's so strange. When I called and you didn't answer, I didn't feel much about it. I'm not a helpless baby. Going to the hospital alone was no big deal. But after getting through and hearing your excuse, suddenly I felt worse than the allergic reaction itself. Looking at the light behind your curtains, somehow I was reminded of when I was 15. On my way to school, an electric bike hit me, cutting my head and drawing blood. The wound wasn't serious, but you immediately gave up your place in the National Math Olympiad finals that day and carried me all the way to the hospital. I called you an idiot, but you looked me in the eye and said seriously, Alyssa, remember this. Whenever you need me, no matter when or where, I'll always come running to you. I started reflecting on myself. You know, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection these past 2 years. Every time we fought, every time we broke up, I would ask myself, was my temper too bad? Was I too willful? Too sensitive? Did I demand too much? But when I stood under your apartment building, watching the lights in your and Susie's rooms turn off one by one, in that moment, I suddenly felt at peace. I don't know exactly when it started. When the boy who used to run only toward me began seeing someone else in his eyes. When he started complaining about my temper with others. When he would forget about me because of another girl. But I suppose this is your choice. I'll never become as gentle and considerate as Susie. Arguing about it is pointless now. There's no need for the three of us to keep suffering like this. Morgan stared at me blankly. So, you were already planning to leave me a month before the college entrance exams. Yeah. You didn't even notice I've been contacting you less. I smiled. Because you were fully focused on helping Susie review, even though you knew I never liked her. No, I never liked her. Alyssa, I was wrong. I really didn't know that's how that night went. If I'd known, I would never have left you alone. It's all in the past. I shook my head. You just want a reason now. So I'm telling you that reason. That's all. I don't like Susie. I really don't. I never thought she would be an issue between us. I only helped her review and estimate scores because her family situation was pitiful. It was just a casual favor. If I liked her, if I really wanted to be with her, why would I have been so serious about planning our future together? You believe me, Alyssa. He tightly grasped my hand. Just pity. I coldly withdrew my hand. Morgan, you're just taking advantage of the fact that I won't leave you. Enjoying another girl's admiration and affection. Don't tell me you don't know she's always liked you. I took a sip of coffee. Actually, it's fine. You're just feeling a bit unsettled now. I used to think I couldn't live without you too. But like I told you on the day we broke up, time and distance will eventually fade everything. Who really can't live without whom? I don't want to. He clenched his fists tightly but suddenly lowered his head. I won't break up. I won't. A tear fell onto the table. Then the second. The third. Alyssa. It's been 13 years. You can't just decide to leave me like this. I'll cut ties with her. I'll change all my mistakes. Let's not break up. Please don't break up with me. I looked at his bloodshot eyes, feeling a pang of pain in my chest. I knew it was the throes of separation. He said he had planned a beautiful future for us. But hadn't I done the same? Little did he know. Inside the music box I gave him for his 18th birthday, there was a tiny hidden mechanism. That was what I had prepared to give him after the college entrance exams. My vision for our future together. But now, none of that is necessary anymore. Morgan, go back. I shook my head. We can never go back. Morgan didn't go back. He came every day to a university. When I had class, he would sit in the last row of the classroom. He would buy my favorite drinks, save seats for me, and even somehow got a meal card. Whenever I went to the cafeteria, he had already prepared my favorite food and was waiting for me. During my period, he would make brown sugar water for me, and when it rained, he would bring an extra umbrella and coat to wait for me at the classroom door. He did these things for me as if it were the most natural thing in the world, as if we were still childhood sweethearts. But every time, I wouldn't go to him or acknowledge him. It became his own one-man show. My roommate asked me gossipingly if that was my boyfriend. I said, ex-boyfriend. Oh my God, they exclaimed. Such a handsome and devoted ex-boyfriend. And you still broke up with him. Why not just get back together? He kept this up for a whole month. A month later at a club event, I had an admirer. He was a senior in his third year, the president of the school's entrepreneurship club, handsome, good at basketball, and already had his own small company while still in school. He stopped me in front of the school cafeteria. Alyssa, I've noticed you since the day you enrolled as a freshman, he said politely. I wanted to ask, do you have a boyfriend? Simple, direct. This scene happened to be witnessed by Morgan. He anxiously wanted to step forward, as if intending to loudly declare his sovereignty over me like he had many times during high school. But after taking 2 steps, he suddenly froze, because he heard me say, I don't have a boyfriend. Great. The senior smiled. After the senior left, I turned around, and my hand was suddenly grabbed. Don't agree to him. I met his bloodshot eyes. Alyssa, please, don't agree to him. I remembered the phone call I received last night from Morgan's mom. Alyssa, we won't interfere with you young people's relationships. Everyone is happy that you got into University A. But if Morgan doesn't return soon, University B won't be able to keep his student status reserved any longer. Do you know how much he sacrificed for the competition? I'm begging you as an aunt. Please talk to him and convince him to come back. Okay, Morgan, it's time for you to go back, I said. Morgan initially refused to return, but 3 days later, he still went back to City B, because Grandma Harris is sick. 2 days later, I received a call from Grandpa. Alyssa, you might need to come back. What's wrong, Grandpa? Sigh. It's all because of the Harris family's boy. He absolutely refuses to go to school now, insisting on dropping out to retake exams for University A. Your Grandpa Harris and Grandma Harris are both sick with worry over him. Oh, and he's also on a hunger strike. You know how his health has always been poor since childhood, and now he's fallen ill too. I had to arrange for a doctor to come give him 4 fluids using our private medical plan. He sighed. Grandpa knows you're determined to break up with him, but your Grandpa Harris and Grandma Harris have always been good to you since you were little. Come back and help talk some sense into him. Make that boy hurry back to school and stop causing trouble everywhere. So I booked the earliest flight back to City B. Grandma Harris started crying as soon as she saw me. You two were doing so well together. How did things suddenly turn out like this? Morgan, how did he bully you? Tell Grandma, and I'll give him a beating for you. All right. I shook my head. Grandma, please take good care of yourself. I'll go upstairs and try to talk to him. But when I went upstairs, I saw Susie standing at Morgan's door. She was holding a bowl of rice porridge in her hands, gently coaxing Morgan. Get out. Who told you to come here? Didn't I say you're not allowed in my house anymore? I came for my mom. She's sick today, Susie said, her eyes reddening as usual before she even spoke. Don't you care about yourself or the people who truly love you? The door seemed to be kicked. I said get out. Can't you understand? I won't leave. Susie stubbornly replied. I'm not as heartless as her. I can't stand seeing you treat yourself like this over someone who isn't worth it. If you don't eat today, then I won't eat either. If you go on a hunger strike and skip school for days, I'll join you in that hunger strike and skip school too. Eat or don't eat. What's it to me? Get lost. But the next second, Morgan's previously dim eyes suddenly lit up. He saw me. Alyssa. He pushed Susie away abruptly. You're back. When did you arrive? Just now. I replied calmly. If you think it's inappropriate, I can come back later. What nonsense are you saying? His eyes instantly reddened. I knew you wouldn't abandon me. After a moment of silence, I said, Morgan, you're being too childish like this. Come inside, he said, gripping my hand tightly and pulling me into the house as if Susie beside us were just air. I've already planned out my repeat year. I'll explain it to you in detail. Just wait for me 1 year. Only 1 year. But then, unexpectedly, Susie reached out and stopped us. Move aside, Morgan said coldly. Why must you be so foolish? What do you even see in her? She looked on the verge of tears. She's selfish, arrogant, and has a terrible temper. She only knows how to take from you. Her parents died because of her. Morgan, how much longer are you going to sacrifice for her? Shut up. Morgan trembled with rage. Say one more bad word about Alyssa and I swear I'll slap you. Our business is none of your concern. I will interfere. Even if you beat me to death, I'll still interfere. Because seeing you suffer makes me 100 times more miserable. She then turned to me. Alyssa, do you truly understand him? Have you ever genuinely cared for him? What do you even do besides constantly demanding from him? He has stomach issues and needs to eat this nourishing porridge every day. Have you ever made it for him once? During his competition prep, he still had to brave the scorching sun to come to your house every day just because you refused to be alone at home. He's been sacrificing for you from the very beginning. What have you ever done for him? I suddenly laughed. Alyssa, don't mind this crazy woman. Morgan nervously tightened his grip on my hand. I shook off his hand and sneered at Susie. Do you think you're the one who loves him the most? He's just a poor soul trapped in a toxic relationship. And you're saving him. How amusing. He thinks you're pitiful. And you think he's pitiful. You two are quite a match. I took a step forward. You ask what I've done for him. It's laughable that you consider making him a bowl of rice paste as some grand act of true love that moved you to tears. Haven't you noticed this rice paste isn't even available on the market? Susie froze. The rice paste in your hand was something I personally made for him at the factory every summer vacation. His stomach was too weak. And to nourish it, I self-studied all the courses to become a nutritionist. I changed the formula countless times and stayed up late brewing it repeatedly to create the perfect blend for him. But this formula was too niche, and the factory refused to mass-produce it. I couldn't trust anyone else with it. So every summer, I went there myself, personally mixing, personally sealing, working in a sterile environment wearing heavy disinfectant suits for 12 hours straight. Do you have any idea how that feels? All you see is that he's an Olympiad champion. But do you know that in middle school, he developed a competition phobia after one loss? Just seeing a test paper would make him vomit. I was the one who accompanied him to therapy, rented classrooms for mock exams, read the questions aloud when he couldn't look at the paper, and wrote down his answers when he couldn't hold a pen. He threw up on me more than once, and I'd just shower and come back to keep practicing with him. I said coldly, I never needed to tell you any of this, but I can't stand your self-righteous savior complex. Even though Morgan and I broke up, who the hell are you to judge what I've sacrificed in this relationship? Susie stared at me in shock. Get out. Susie, Morgan said in a low voice. Don't make me call security. What about me? She collapsed to the ground, still unwilling to give up as she looked at Morgan. I can do everything she's done. After 3 years of being together day and night. Morgan, how could you not have any feelings for me at all? None. Morgan said coldly. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression. But if I had known helping you would make me lose Alyssa, I would never have spoken a single word to you. She stared at him blankly for a long moment before finally wiping her tears and rushing out of the room. Crash. Morgan's music box placed on the corner of the table was Susie's hand swept to the ground, shattered into pieces. This was the gift I gave him for his 18th birthday. He rushed over nervously, but as he picked up the fragments, he suddenly froze. The music box was handmade by me, featuring 2 little dancing figures on top, with several small compartments behind them. Each small box has a password, and inside lies a little note. Originally, after the college entrance exams, I was going to tell him the first password to open the first small box, but now they've all been broken open. He saw all those futures I had made. The first little note read, Morgan, the college entrance exams are over. I worked so hard to get into the same school as you. Don't you think your girlfriend deserves a kiss as a reward? Morgan knelt on the ground, hands trembling as he opened the second note. Morgan, we've graduated from university. What now? I'm tired of calling you boyfriend. I want to ask if you're interested in changing that title. Starts with LG. Guess for yourself. The third note. Is our baby born? Quick, tell me. Is it a boy or a girl? The fourth. The fifth. The sixth. Morgan, do I have white hair now? Do you think I'm old? Looking my eyes. The last one. Morgan, if you're reading this note, it means we've spent our whole lives together. Well, since we've come this far, how about we stay together in the next life too? No matter who goes first, neither of us can reincarnate first. Pinky promise. He was already sobbing uncontrollably. I'll retake the exams and get into a university, he said with a choked voice. Alyssa, wait for me 1 year. Just 1 year. Okay. I shook my head. Morgan, do you remember when you first came to a university to find me? And I went to get the forms. That's the exchange student application form. I got the notification yesterday. I passed. So I'll be studying abroad as an exchange student in my sophomore year. He froze. Even if you get into University A, I won't be there anymore. Is it because you want to avoid me? Do you really hate me that much? I shook my head. No. I sat down beside him and looked at the sunset outside the window. It was only after going to University A that I realized the outside world is actually quite wonderful. After the pain of the breakup passed, being alone didn't seem like such a bad thing. I wanted to live a more exciting life, so I chose to study abroad. I turned to look at him. Morgan, you too. Even without me, you'll be just fine. No, I won't. Without you, what meaning does my life have? Tears streamed down his face. Alyssa, 13 years. I never even considered a life without you. I was wrong. How could I be so foolish and blind? You clearly told me you didn't like her. You said it clearly. Yes, it was clearly said. But in life, there are no pills for regret. That day, he kept crying until the sunset. Perhaps he also realized how much determination it took for me to leave him after more than a decade of bonds. I returned to a university and continued with my life. I really like City A, where the scenery is completely different from the south. In autumn, golden leaves cover the ground. And in winter, everything is blanketed in white snow. Morgan finally went to University B for studies, but he declined all social engagements outside of academics. Flying every weekend to University A, without fail. He never disrupted my life, sometimes watching me silently from afar, other times just standing outside my dormitory. He came every week, so of course he knew how happy I was at University A, but in all that happiness, there was no longer any trace of him. I knew he was hoping that one day I would change my mind, and gradually, I had more than one suitor. They would wait for me downstairs, bring me flowers and drinks, invite me to movies and shopping, and show me all kinds of care and attention. Morgan would clench his fists tightly and his eyes would turn red every time he saw it. But he had no right to stop it. He also sent me messages, unable to control himself from expressing his longing. While my replies remained polite and distant, I knew I wouldn't look back, so I didn't give him any hope. At the end of my freshman year, I returned to City B and heard from Bonnie that Susie had been expelled from Southern Medical University. At the beginning of the semester, she probably thought you and Morgan had broken up. So she bragged to everyone at school that her boyfriend was the Olympiad champion from the neighboring B university. You know how Morgan is quite famous around here. And since she had attended the freshman party with Morgan, many people became friends with her because of that. Later, Morgan found out about this and specifically went to the forums of University B and Southern Medical University to debunk the rumors, saying it had nothing to do with her and that she wouldn't be dating anyone, claiming she'd only ever loved one girl in her life. Her childhood sweetheart, who was currently studying in City A, Bonnie Tisksked. This was the biggest gossip in local schools at the time. Susie became a laughingstock, with everyone mocking her for being a wannabe phoenix. She lost all her friends, probably too desperate to prove her academic ability. She cheated on 2 consecutive exams. Southern Medical University is notoriously strict about exams, so she got expelled. I said calmly. She barely made it into first high to begin with. Her college entrance exam results were boosted by Morgan's hands-on tutoring. University exams are different from high school. She had to rely entirely on herself. It's normal she didn't do well. I actually heard Grandpa mention this too. Because of her rumors, the Harris family fired her mother, and she even brought her mom to their doorstep to make a scene. However, the Harris family no longer took pity on her this time and directly called the police, reporting them for trespassing. Bonnie continued. During the winter break, there was a class reunion. Morgan also came, but he didn't see you. I could tell he was really disappointed. But he doesn't look anything like the school heartthrob anymore. He seemed all downcast, almost like he's become just another ordinary guy. Sigh. Looking back now, You really took such good care of him before. At the end of summer vacation, I also saw Morgan. He had lost so much weight that I didn't dare recognize him at first. My stomach acted up, and I was hospitalized for a while. He said, "Oh, I previously gave the rice paste recipe and the factory's contact information to your mom." I thought for a moment, but your mom isn't in good health either. How about you sign up for my family's private medical service? I can give you a discount. He shook his head with a bitter smile. This is what I deserve. I should bear it. But I still gave him a copy of my family's private medical service manual. After all, he could be a potential long-term client. Are you leaving? He asked cautiously. Yeah, I nodded. The flight's the day after tomorrow. Grandpa and I are going together. Might as well have some fun there while we're at it. I smiled and shook my head. Don't come anymore. It's too far. Just forget it. After a year of fruitless persistence, he should have recognized the reality and stopped. Yet he still shook his head. Goodbye. I waved at him and turned to leave. In the distant sky, the setting sun cast its glow upon layers of clouds. Hues of orange, yellow, pink, and purple, like molten-colored glass. Suddenly, I remembered. Many years ago, on an evening just like this, I had leaned on Morgan's shoulder, holding his arm, as we dreamed together about our future. Today's sunset is far more beautiful than it was back then. And I am also heading towards a wonderful future that belongs solely to me. Who says I'm not looking forward to it? The end.